Welcome back to the Front Court Podcast. And today we'll be doing a little reaction video to the Darryn Peterson issue. Let's get right into it.
There is no team in hell that should grab Darryn Peterson #1. The first ability is availability. This is business. I can't trust him.
Guys like this that don't fulfill their obligations and ruin it for everybody else.
His talent is unquestionable, but I don't feel like he really wants to be there.
This is truly insane. Imagine being so good at basketball that you score 23 points in 18 minutes, shooting 7 for 12 from the field and 6 for 10 from 3. You hit a deep three-pointer to put your team up 13, and then you just point at your coach and say, hey.
That's crazy, bro. And I don't know, I'm not the biggest college basketball guy, but this is just insanity. Like, Darryn Peterson is such a high valued player and his talent is off the charts. But what's going on with him not wanting to play or just kind of that kind of thing is infuriating. Like it's a crazy story.
I'm out. Your coach didn't pull you. You didn't foul out. You just tap out with 17 and a half minutes left in the game. This is exactly what happened Wednesday night when Kansas played Oklahoma State. And what happened next sent shockwaves throughout the entire basketball world. Now, before I get into all of this, I need you to understand something. The guy we are talking about today is not some bench player. He is not some role player dealing with a nagging ankle. Darryn Peterson is the projected #1 pick in the 2026 NBA draft, a draft where so many teams in the NBA are tanking to get the #1 overall pick.
Yeah, the NBA tanking issue is crazy, bro. I know Adam Silver's trying to implement some stuff during the summer, but as of right now, it's terrible. You know, I'm a Nets fan. We have like 15 wins. And especially another one is like the Bulls. You know, midseason, like as soon as they play 30 games, 40 games, recently, and then they're like, all right, we suck, tank. Like they tank half the season, bro. Like the Jazz, they got fined, bro, for sitting Markkanen and Jaren Jackson Jr. and JJJ. Like he's having that surgery on his knee because something's growing in it. But again, it didn't. I kind of read up on it. It didn't need to happen now, but they're just doing it just to be safe. Which is fine, but it's just so kind of infuriating and interesting. You throw on like the other night the Washington Wizards Indiana Pacers game. No disrespect to the guy. I forget his name. I'm pretty sure he went to USC. Wizards signed him to a 10-day contract. He played 35 minutes. It was his first NBA game. He played 35 minutes versus the Pacers. That is insane. That is insane, bro. Like, the tanking issue is... That's another topic.
That Adam Silver has no idea what to do to fix the tanking problem in the NBA. And if you didn't hear about that, then check out our latest video on the tanking situation. But if you don't believe me, listen to Adam Silver say it himself during the All-Star break.
Are we seeing behavior that is worse this year than we've seen in recent memory? Yes.
What we're doing, what we're seeing right now is not working. There's no question about it.
The man is the 2025 Naismith High School Player of the Year, a McDonald's All-American, a gold medalist with USA Basketball, and an NBA scout literally told ESPN that Darryn Peterson is the closest thing to Kobe Bryant I've seen since Kobe in terms of shot making. This is who we are talking about.
And that's not even crazy, bro. Darryn Peterson is so talented. And like I said, I'm not the biggest college basketball guy, but it's crazy how talented he is. And the issue that's going on is just infuriating.
A generational two-way superstar, and right now the biggest question in basketball is not whether he is good enough to go #1, it is whether anyone can trust him to actually show up. And by the end of this video, I'm going to show you exactly why what is happening with Darryn Peterson at Kansas right now might be the scariest red flag we have seen from a #1 pick since Ben Simmons was at LSU. And if you know anything about how that story ended, then you know exactly why NBA teams are so terrified. Before we get to the video, today's video is sponsored by Arena Club. Arena Club has solved one of my biggest problems with card collecting, and that's the 212. What's going on, everybody? So if you're subscribed to my channel and you've seen a decent amount of my videos this year, you've heard me say ad nauseum that this is one of the most loaded drafts in recent memory.
Big time, bro. And the thing is, like, Cooper Flag reclassed up. Imagine if he didn't reclass. You'd have Cooper Flag, Darryn Peterson, Cam Boozer, and AJ DeBanzo. Like, that is crazy, bro. And again, this college basketball season, like I said, I'm not the biggest college basketball guy, but it's been so entertaining to watch.
It's causing a bulk of the NBA to tank more than ever, and the reason is because of the top 4 players in this draft, and the #1 overall pick is projected to be Darryn Peterson. So let me tell you who Darryn Peterson is. During Peterson's senior year at high school, he averaged 30 points, 7.4 assists, 6.8 rebounds, and 2.2 steals per game, shooting 52% from the field, 44% from 3, and 86% from the free throw line. He led his high school team to a 28-5 record and a top 5 national ranking.
Yeah, bro, he went to Prolific Prep. Like, he's nice. I'm telling you, bro. Top 5 ranking in the nation.
He won the Naismith Trophy, adding his name to a list that includes LeBron James and Kobe Bryant. He was the co-MVP of the McDonald's All-American game, and when he was playing club basketball with Phenom United in the summer of 2024, he was putting up 28.2 points, 7.2 rebounds, 4.6 assists, 4.2 steals, and 3 blocks per game. Those are video game numbers, and it was not just a domestic thing either. Back in 2023, Peterson helped Team USA win gold at the FIBA Under-16 America's Championship in Mexico, where he averaged nearly 17 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and over 3 steals a game, and made the all-tournament team. This is a kid who has been dominant at every single level he's played at. Every coach who has had him says the same thing. Bill Self, a Hall of Fame college basketball coach, called Peterson the best player he has ever recruited.
That is crazy, bro. Like, yeah, how long has he been coaching for? A minute, bro. That's again shows how tough he is.
Think about what that means coming from a guy who has coached at Kansas for over 2 decades. Peterson committed to Kansas on November 1st, 2024, choosing the Jayhawks over Kansas State, Ohio State, and USC. And when he got on campus and started playing, it was exactly what everyone expected. He looked like the future #1 overall pick. He opened the season with 21 points against Green Bay, then dropped.
Bro, look at this. Whatever, lost to UNC. 22 points in 28 minutes, 8 for 14 from the field, 57% from the field. Like, that's crazy. Green Bay, whatever. Again, 21 points, 22 minutes, 7-11, 63% from the field. So it's like he's certified nice. Like, there's no getting around that.
22 against North Carolina. When he is on the floor, he is averaging 20 points per game on 48.5%.
All right, I won't lie though. It does. Son does not swing the rock. 1.5 assists per game. Oh my god. But I mean, 1.6 turnovers per game. That's not even bad. But yeah, it shoots 48% from the field, 43% from 3. Like that's crazy. Averaging 27 minutes per game, 20 point like.
And shooting, and 43.1% from 3, with 3.7 rebounds and 1.2 steals. His true shooting percentage sits at 61.6%, and per 36 minutes, he is scoring nearly 26 points per game. Peterson is scoring 43.8 points per 100 possessions on 62.8% true shooting. The efficiency is insane. He is also shooting 64% in spot-up situations, 46% off of screens, and 59% on dribble handoffs.
Bro, that's so crazy. Like, he's so efficient. Oh my god.
There is no weakness in Darryn Peterson's offensive game. None. A poll of 20 NBA scouts and executives conducted by ESPN had Peterson receiving 12 votes for the #1 pick versus 8 for AJ DeBonsa. One veteran scout told ESPN that Peterson makes things look so effortless and his shot making is unmatched. That is the caliber of talent we are dealing with. So why is everyone panicking? Why do you have ESPN saying things like this?
It's not a question of ability. We know what his ability is. We see it. And even last night, 23 points in 18 minutes, but it's availability that continues to be the problem with Darryn Peterson. And it's been a myriad of issues, whether it's cramps, whether it's a hamstring, whether it's I'm not feeling good enough. It's starting to elevate questions. And it's not just questions from us in the media, scouts and front office folks in the NBA.
Again, I'm not a scout, bro, but looking at Darryn Peterson, like, it's kind of like Kawhi, like, at this stage in his career, the injuries, it's like, if you were to trade for him, like, and Anthony Davis, that kind of thing, like, he's so good, but when you trade for him, how much is he actually going to play? You know, the best ability is availability.
have picks in the lottery, and they're starting to say that there's questions not about, again, what he brings to the court.
Here's where it all falls apart, and I want you to pay close attention to this timeline because when you lay it all out, it gets worse and worse. Kansas has played 26 games this season at the time that I'm making this video. Darryn Peterson has played in only 15 of them. He has missed 11 games. But here's the thing, it's not just the missed games. Of those 15 appearances, he has only played 30 or more minutes in 6 of them, and he has left
only 30 or more minutes. Like, he's barely even playing
games early on 3 separate occasions against BYU, Iowa State, and now Oklahoma State. He was also a stunning last-minute scratch against #1 ranked Arizona last week due to flu-like symptoms, despite participating in warm-ups. Now,
how is that possible? Just scratches the game at the last second.
Before you think I'm just blowing up a very tiny detail about Darryn Peterson, let me walk you through the list of what he has dealt with. So far, he's dealt with cramping issues, a hamstring strain, a sprained ankle, a quad injury, flu-like symptoms, more cramping, and the cramping is not just a one-time thing. It is a recurring issue that keeps pulling him off of the floor at the worst possible times. Take the game against UCF on January 3rd, for example. Peterson came back from injury, scored 26 points in 23 minutes, but he checked out for good with 11 minutes left in the game. Kansas lost that game, and Self said afterward that he wanted to put Peterson on a minutes restriction of around 24 minutes, but he could not do it in the first half because the team was playing so poorly. Peterson kept them in the game when he was in, but then his legs gave out in the second half. That is a brutal spot for a coach. Then against TCU, it got even weirder. Peterson tried to check himself out of the game late in the second half during a live play, and it caused a Kansas turnover.
I think what Peterson was actually doing was telling the bench he needed to come out.
Think about that.
And that's just not even like, that's not even you, bro. Like, that's just letting your teammates down. Like, honestly, I'd be pissed if I was his teammate. He's so good, but his availability is so trash. Like, he literally caused a turnover because he's trying to pull himself out of the game. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'd just be really mad if I was his teammate.
For a second, guys, he wanted to sub himself out so badly that it disrupted an actual possession. Now, Kansas did go on to win that game, and Peterson checked back in to hit the game-tying free throws and send it into overtime. So I'll give credit where it's due, but the optics of a guy trying to pull himself out during live action is not a good look. And then on January 31st, he played against AJ DeBonta in BYU in what was basically a #1 pick versus a #2 pick showcase. Peterson was sensational, dropping 18 points in 20 minutes, but he left early again with cramping. 2 days later, he bounced back and played 35 minutes against Texas Tech and hit the game-winning shot, which showed the upside, but it's been a roller coaster ever since. The Iowa State game on February 15th, he only played 24 minutes before being shut down, though Bill Self said that it was his own decision to pull him. But
dude, he is so nice, bro. I can't even, he's just so smooth. He does play like Kobe. Not even glazing.
one thing that I can't wrap my head around is the game 5 days earlier against Arizona, #1 ranked Arizona versus Kansas, and Peterson is a last-minute scratch with flu-like symptoms. The wild part is Kansas won without him 82-78. They beat the #1 team in the country without their best player, and while that is a credit to the team, it also fuels the narrative that maybe Kansas does not need him as much as they thought, and maybe Peterson is fine with that. The straw that broke the—
Yeah, exactly. He seems like fine with it. Like he doesn't care. Like it just seems so weird.
Camel's back for me was what happened Wednesday night against Oklahoma State. This is the incident that blew everything up. Peterson started this game absolutely torching the Cowboys. 23 points, 7 for 12 from the field, 6 for 10 from 3, and he did all of this in just 18 minutes. He was having one of the most efficient halves of basketball you will see from any player this season. Kansas was up big, everything was clicking, and then with 17 minutes and 22 seconds left in the second half, Peterson hit a deep 3 to put Kansas up 13. And immediately turned to the bench and asked to come out. He never came back in. After the game, Bill Self—
like, that's crazy. Like, what, bro?
was asked about it, and you can just hear the frustration in his voice. Even though he was trying to stay measured, this is what he had to say.
We've had it more than a couple of times, and I didn't anticipate that tonight at all. I thought he was good to go, but obviously we only got 18 minutes out of him. You know, that's disappointing because he could have had a really big night.
Like, dude, the best player in college basketball, like only 18 minutes, like that's just, yeah, again, like it's so disappointing.
Self also said something that should scare every Kansas fan heading into March.
You know, you get into the NCAA tournament and you're playing a team just as good as you, and you need to have all your best players available. Yeah, all it takes is for one day like that to derail not only a game, but a season. So, yeah, it's concerning.
And then Self said something that was both reassuring and devastating at the same time. He said the one good thing about Peterson being unavailable is that the rest of the team has gotten used to it.
It's happened often enough that our...
And I feel like that also just lowers team morale. Like, the fact that your team's used to it. Like, oh yeah, Darren's probably just going to check out soon. Like, we're going to have to pick it up. And I feel like that's just such a morale, like just blow to morale. I don't know. Again, teammate thing.
Guys have learned to play without him, even though that's not the way we want to play.
When your Hall of Fame coach is saying the best thing about your star players' absences is that the team is used to it, that is a huge red flag. And it got even worse the next morning when the national media got a hold of this story. The morning after the Oklahoma...
Yeah, this incident was like the big, like, everyone was like, yeah, it's kind of weird. But after this, like, when he actually took himself out of the game, that's when everyone exploded.
State game, it felt like every single person on ESPN had something to say about Darryn Peterson, and none of it was good. Stephen A. Smith came out on First Take and absolutely went off.
There is no team in hell that should grab Darryn Peterson. No. You cannot do it. The first ability is availability.
Right. And then he kept going.
You pull yourself out? You've made it.
I mean, y'all know when Stephen A. gets going, he doesn't stop going. Also, how many times he's going to show this clip, or else kind of get on my nerves.
Jay, and then looked at the coach. I want to get out of here. And it ain't the first time he's done it. And these games that he's missing. Cramps? Flu? What? I can't believe what I'm seeing from this guy.
Stephen A. also brought up Bill Self and said Bill Self is one of the best coaches of all time. And if even he does not know what is going on, how is an NBA team supposed to figure it out? Then Jay Williams, who is the number 2 pick in the 2002 draft himself, went on ESPN's Get Up and said he would draft AJ DeBonsa over Darryn Peterson.
And that's not, yeah, hold on. We can watch this, but that's not a diss on AJ DeBonsa. AJ DeBonsa is so good. It's just that, you know, Peterson's supposed to go number 1, and all of a sudden, it's just these small things. Like, I just don't get it.
If I were a general manager, I would be extremely concerned about Darryn Peterson. His talent is unquestionable. It's elite, but I don't feel like he really wants to be there.
Even Scott Van Pelt went on SportsCenter and said this.
When the presumed number 1 player sits out a home game against unbeaten number 1 Arizona with the flu after having all these questions, managing the minutes throughout the season with other issues, it makes people
flu-like symptoms.
Wonder, not about his talent, but about those intangibles that can't really be measured.
But it wasn't just ESPN. Jalen Rose and Jamal Mashburn piled on. Rose said, we know they cannot win a title without him, and we know they cannot win it if he's only going to play 2 minutes in the second half. Mashburn took it a step further and said, if he is going to get in the NCAA tournament and load manage that part of it, why even be part of it? That word, load management in college basketball. Like, that's what LeBron does. Like, LeBron, he won't play back-to-backs. He's 40 years old in the NBA. He's played in the NBA for 20 years, dude. Like, he's an 18-year-old college player. It's his first season. Talk about some load management? Nah, bro. Is the part that stings the most, because that is a word you associate with NBA veterans in their 30s trying to extend their careers, not an 18-year-old freshman playing his 1 season of college basketball. Then ESPN's Sean Farham dropped a bomb.
I talked to numerous scouts and front office folks in the NBA today that will have picks in the lottery, and they're starting to say that there's questions not about, again, what he brings to the court, but it's the mentality and then the availability. The questions on Darryn is, will he play? That's a very different question.
Jalen Rose also added that if Darryn Peterson has soft tissue issues on a collegiate schedule, what happens when he is playing 82 games in the NBA, going against the fastest people in the world, fighting through screens?
Sorry for pausing it so much, but again, yeah. Dude, he's only played 15 games, and he's left early in 3 of them. 82 games in the NBA season? So, he's not going to make it. Like,
Rose said he feels like it will affect his draft stock and that some players are unfortunately just injury prone. Now here's where this gets
injury prone, yes, but these crampings, flu-like symptoms, like, again, maybe he's cramping really bad and he shouldn't play. But it seems like when he just pulls himself, like, is it really cramping? Like,
It's really interesting because about a week before the Oklahoma State game, Bill Self actually tried to shut all of this down. On February 12th, Self held a press conference where he actually went to bat for Peterson hard.
Read some of the things and narratives that are out there about him. It's really not remotely true. Was his hamstring legit? Yes. Was his cramping legit? Yes, positively. Did he turn his ankle bad to the point where he couldn't practice for 9 days? Yes. He's got a string of bad luck. So the narrative is
okay. All right, my bad. But again, it's just like it just seemed so weird.
Yes.
Self was adamant that Peterson was not faking it. He was not load managing, and that people online were creating false narratives. And to be fair to Peterson, there is a counter argument here. Adam Finkelstein of CBS Sports made a very good point when he defended Peterson. He said if Peterson was truly just protecting his draft stock, would he not just shut it down completely? Why would he keep coming back, keep playing, keep putting up huge numbers, and keep risking re-injury if his goal was to coast to the draft? Finkelstein argued that the fact that Peterson keeps trying to play actually suggests that the injuries are real and he genuinely wants to be out there, which is a fair point. And Peterson's draft stock has not cratered yet. The Athletic reported last month that 5 league executives and scouts still view Peterson as an elite prospect, though they look into his injury issues during the pre-draft process. Bleacher Report's Jonathan Wasserman still has him going #1 overall to the Sacramento Kings in his most recent mock, acknowledging that durability and competitiveness have become talking points, but he's saying that as long as his pre-draft medicals check.
Dude, if I was the #1 ranked pick or prospect and I got drafted to the Kings, that's kind of like what happened with Ace Bailey and the Jazz. Luckily, the Jazz have good upside, but Ace Bailey's had a quiet season, but it's just like, dude, it would just suck. I mean, I know you're making millions, but it's just like, these guys win so much, and then you go to a trash NBA organization, you win like 20 games. I couldn't imagine
check out clean. But here's the problem with Self's defense. It was a great press conference, passionate, convincing, and then 6 days later, Peterson played 18 minutes against Oklahoma State and walked off the court. Self went from saying this,
the narrative is BS,
to saying this.
I didn't anticipate that tonight at all. I thought he was good to go.
And this.
You know, that's disappointing because he could have had a really big night.
This all went down in less than a week. If the narratives were BS before, what are they now? Because the look on Self's face after the Oklahoma State game told a very different story than the press conference from February 12th. Here's what makes this whole situation even worse. On the exact same night that Peterson was subbing himself out of the Oklahoma State game after 18 minutes because of cramping, something incredible was happening in Tuscaloosa. Arkansas freshman guard Darius Acuff, who by the way was one of the finalists for the Naismith High School Player of the Year alongside Peterson, dropped 49 points against number 25 Alabama in a double overtime
49?
Loss. 49 points, 6 for 27 from the field, 6 for 10 from 3, 11 for 12 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. He played all 50.
Bro, and all these games happen when I'm at work, bro, I swear. Like tonight is Duke. Oh my god, I'm blanking. It's the Duke game. Sorry, I'm blanking, but again, I'm working. It's so unfortunate.
Minutes of the game without taking a single break. He scored or assisted on 35 of Arkansas's 58 points in the second half in
Duke, Michigan, sorry.
Overtime. His 49 points were the most ever scored by a freshman against an AP-ranked opponent in college basketball history. But here's the part that makes it legendary. After the game, Coach Cal revealed that Darius Acuff was in a walking boot for 2 days before the game.
He was in a boot for 2 days and still did that. And I said, "You think you might have to miss this game?" He said, "Are you nuts?" He didn't care, hurt, whatever it is. He was in a boot for 2 days.
So when you compare that,
right, that's what I'm saying. Like you can tell he wants that, bro. He wants that, and it just seems like Darryn Peterson, he just doesn't really care. It's like,
to Darryn Peterson, Acuff was in a boot and played 50 minutes and dropped 49. Peterson had cramps and played 18 minutes and took himself out with his team up 13 on the same night. The basketball world saw both of these things happen within hours of each other, and the optics could not be worse for Peterson. Even Coach Cal could not help but highlight the contrast.
His body language, his ability to make everybody better, his will to win. And I've coached some really good guards over the years, and I've had a few this way, but he's right there with them.
That is what the will to play looks like. At what point do you just want to be a hooper? When you are as good as Darryn Peterson, when Kansas fans would love you forever if you just went out there and gave it everything, when you get to kick everyone's butt and put on a show. That should be the best part of being a college basketball player, especially in an era where you're getting paid to play. Instead, Peterson has picked up the name DNP, which stands for did not play, and we see him on the bench way too often. Now, the extreme version of this is that fans are concerned that Darryn Peterson just doesn't love the game, similar to what happened to Ben Simmons towards the end of his career. He's just a guy trying to collect a check, and once he gets his max check, he's just going to check out altogether.
Right, but the thing is, like, Ben Simmons, he was already in the league for an extended period of time. Like, Darryn Peterson is a freshman in college, bro. Like, he hasn't even sniffed the NBA.
But I think that's an extreme. The reality of the situation is Kansas is 20-6. They rank number 8 in the country. They're sitting at 10-3 in the Big 12. They have 5 regular season games left, and then the Big 12 tournament. And then it's March Madness. This team has legitimate national title aspirations, but Bill Self himself said it. All it takes is one game where Peterson cannot go against a team that is just as good as you, and the whole season is over. And what is Bill Self supposed to do about it? That is the question nobody has a good answer to. If he benches Peterson or tries to discipline him, Peterson could shut himself down entirely. You're dealing with a guy who is going to be the top pick in the NBA draft and is getting paid through NIL. The power dynamic in college
cannot imagine how much he's getting paid through NIL. Has to be millions. Has to be millions, bro. Like, $1 million college hooper while everyone else is in debt, bro. That's crazy.
Basketball has shifted dramatically. Self is one of the last coaches from the old guard who expects toughness and accountability, but he does not have the leverage he used to have. Peterson could walk out of Lawrence tomorrow and his draft stock would still be within the top 3. And for the NBA teams in the lottery, this creates a massive dilemma. The Kings have the worst record in the Western Conference and are projected to pick first. Do you take Peterson number 1 knowing all of this? The talent says yes. The medicals will matter, and if they come back clean, teams might be willing to roll the dice. But if there's even a hint that this is more mental than physical, that Peterson is protecting himself rather than pushing through, then teams might pivot to AJ DeBonsa at BYU, who is averaging 24.5 points and 6.3 rebounds while playing through everything. Or Cam Boozer at Duke, who has been a model of consistency all season long. And that's the scary thing about all this. Peterson could have it all. He could be the unquestioned number 1 overall pick, the face of Kansas basketball heading into March Madness, and the most exciting prospect since, honestly, Zion Williamson at Duke. Instead, every conversation about him comes with an asterisk. Every highlight reel ends with a clip of him walking to the bench. Every scouting report that praises his talent includes a paragraph about whether you can count on him. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Aside from that, if this is your first time seeing one of my videos, make sure you're subscribed, because otherwise you might never see one of my videos on your feed again.
Fire video, bro. Again, I don't watch a lot of college basketball. That was really good to understand it more. And like he said, you know, originally there were kind of, the media was portraying it that, you know, he was not really injured, not really sick, but now after that, like, you know, they cleared those allegations, but then after he pulled himself versus OSU, it's like, are they real? Are they not? But it'll be interesting to see how this rolls. But I mean, good luck to him, and I just hope he's healthy and we can watch him play more than 20 minutes. But yeah, again, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Benicio Morelli, and this has been the Front Court Podcast.